Hi everyone, my name is Melissa. I'm an educator from Milbon, USA. So today I'm going to be talking to you about Sophistone, which is our color line. It features permanent, demi, and lighteners. You may be familiar with Milbon as a company that is a pioneer for Japanese straightening. We also have these advanced treatment systems such as smooth and repair, but you might not know Milbon as a color brand, but Milbon actually has 30 years of experience producing professional quality hair color, and it's the #1 professional color brand in Japan, which is pretty amazing. We do a lot of research and technology, so we wanted to impart that into our color as well. So it has amazing conditioning formulas. It works so well, and I'm really excited to introduce you to it. First, we're going to talk about our permanent color. It is 61 shades of blonde, red, and brunette. It also has 4 intensifiers and 4 high lift colors, so it's very diverse. It was designed specifically for the US market, which is amazing. Very important because we have a lot of different textures and colors and natural colors in this market, so we really needed something for this market. We did so much research on this line. We worked with over 50 salons all the way down to packaging research. We have this beautiful packaging that was decided upon. Everything is very clear. We use both a numbering and lettering system. So you'll see here, it's a 5R, 5-stroke 5. So it's very easy to transition from another line. We tested over 1,000 models when we were creating this color line, and over 4,000 formulas before we were satisfied with that final formula. So I'm going to jump right into permanent. Remember, we're gloves, this is chemicals. We have these beautiful aprons. We have a lot of amazing tools because we have this partnership with Fermar. So we were able to create Milbon Fermar tools, including brushes, paddles. I love this little spatula that we have here. So I'm going to jump right in and talk a little bit more about the permanent. So what I love about the permanent is that it's really creamy, the formula itself. So it mixes in really easily. It just takes a minute. I'm going to start mixing this together. This is our 7C, and we are mixing it with 10 volume. Our permanent can be used with our universal developers, 10, 20, 30, and 40 volume. So you don't have to use a different developer when you're using our lighteners, which I think is amazing because we don't always have that much room in the salon. I also want to introduce this color cart. So we have these beautiful carts that can house all your color, and they're also an amazing workspace to use. So that's really nice to have in the salon. And also if you're a booth renter, it comes with a cover and a lock, which is really nice. So this is our little spatula, which I like mixing our color with. It's really nice, creamy consistency. It has this amazing technology called form shifting technology. It's thixotropic complex. And what that means is that this formula is able to shift from a semi-solid to a creamy texture. And how that benefits you when you're doing color is that it's going to give you a really precise application and enhanced spreadability and really nice saturation, which is very important for coverage as well and consistent results. So I mix this up and I want to show you the consistency. Remember that thixotropic complex. So you can see how easy it is to mix and how soft that is. But when I pick this up, it's not going anywhere. So it's actually really amazing. You can even kind of like turn that bowl upside down and that color's not coming out. So I'm going to show you a little bit of an application, like it's a virgin application, and talk more about the technology. The other part of the technology is our advanced double adhesion technology. So what that really means is, and what that looks like, is that typical or traditional color molecules have just one carrier that's able to adhere to the cortex of the hair, and our color molecule has 2, so it's double adhesion. So what that double adhesion technology is going to give you is more vibrancy and longer lasting color. So that's very important. Of course, when we're doing color, we want something that's going to give us longevity and beautiful, vibrant results. It also has a conditioning formula, so it's going to make the hair look healthier. It's our replenishing lipids. and it also has a shine enhancer, so you're gonna get even more shine with this permanent color. So I'm just gonna move over my little mannequin here. This is my beautiful assistant, so that you can see she's had some color done already. And I'm gonna do a little application. I'm just gonna move her so that you can see of permanent, so you can just see that texture. I'm gonna use one of our painters. Actually, I'm gonna use one of our color brushes. So this is our color brush. I'm gonna put a little bit on here. And you can see how that stays on the brush really, really nicely. And if I was going to do a virgin application, I would work a little bit away from the scalp, so as to not get hot root, right? And you can see that staying put really nicely. It's not going anywhere. But when I need to pull through the ends, just add a little bit more. And it's such a nice glidable, smooth consistency. It's really easy to pull through because of that thixotropic complex. So it's going to move very easily, but then once I stop moving it, it's going to stay put. So you're going to have really nice saturation and it's not going to be runny. All right. So the mixing ratio for our permanent hair color is a 1-to-1 mixing ratio. Again, it can be used with our 10, 20, 30, and 40 volume. The processing time is 35 minutes up to 40 minutes for resistant gray. If you do have a resistant client, you may want to use our NN formula, and you're going to get 100% gray coverage if you use any of our natural series, which we have a large array in our natural series. The high lift colors are a 1-to-2 mixing ratio. You can use that 30 or 40 volume, and the processing time is 50 minutes so that you can get that optimum lift. And remember to wear gloves because this is chemical and you do want to protect yourself. Again, I love using this apron. It's a really nice, durable, thick apron. It's color proof, so highly recommended. We're going to jump into our demi-permanent color now. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our demi-permanent. Now let's jump into our demi-permanent. I love our demi. It's an ammonia-free, deposit-only liquid gel, so it's not going to give you any lift. It's not going to bump your base. It's amazing for a variety of techniques, including glazing. It can be used for gray blending. You can add depth. It's a really, really useful tool. If you're not already using a demi, I highly recommend it. It's great for toning your highlights and your double processes. It's extremely, extremely gentle, and it's really nice to work with. All of our color, and I didn't mention this with a permanent, is a really nice scent. It's not very strong, especially when we're talking about our demi, because remember, again, that's an ammonia-free color, which is amazing. So it's a 1-to-1 mixing ratio if you're familiar with demis. So that's the same mixing ratio. It's a liquid gel. When you first put it in the bowl, it's going to be very loose and liquidy, but as you mix it into the processing lotion, it's going to thicken up into a gel. So this is thick enough to use a bowl and a brush, but thin enough to use in a bottle if you do want to do a bottle application. So this formula is our 9BE, and this is our beautiful packaging for our demi. Again, we use both numbering and lettering systems to make it super user-friendly. Something I love about our demi is that it has a combination of dominant tones for depositing, and then this additional tone that's supportive that is going to be used to enhance or balance. So you're going to get a more accurate result, which is really nice. You can see the consistency here. It's getting, thicker. So you can really see that it's not going to be very drippy, which is nice. You don't have to add a thickener to it. It's already a perfect consistency to work with, and it's, again, not going to, drip onto that client, which is nice. It's going to stay put in a nice way. So some of the technology with our demi is CPD technology. And what that stands for is controlled pigment development. What that means is that you're going to get a more accurate result, a more regulated processing speed, and it's going to give you a more on-target finish, which is what we all want, right? We want the predictable results. So the first part of that CPD technology is chelation. And what that means is metal ions in the hair can oxidize the color even more. So we don't want it to interact with the color, right? So we get that result that we're looking for. So what this does is it wraps around those metal ions so that they can't interfere with the color development. The second part of that is a neutral pH. So I know sometimes, right, we talk about pH when we're talking about hair color. So often permanent hair colors are alkaline, so they open up the cuticle quite a bit. And then acidic pH means that it's going to close the cuticle more. So if it's acidic, you might not get enough pigment inside the hair, right? Because that cuticle is more closed. And if it's alkaline, you might get too much. So it might shift levels and appear darker. So we found that a neutral pH was perfect for getting the accurate demi result that we're looking for. It's going to cancel very, very well. And it's going to give you a little bit of longevity, but it's not going to permanently stain that hair, which is not what we're looking for. So I'm just going to show you that consistency again. And this one also has a conditioning element. It has a coconut oil-based lipid, so it's going to give you smoother results, similar to that conditioning formula in our permanent color. These colors are designed to give you hair that feels healthier, looks healthier, is shinier. So that's really nice. This is a truly conditioning formula. So again, it's a 1-to-1 mixing ratio for this with our processing lotion. We also have clear. So if you're using clear in your formula, for example, you want to create a 9BE, you would, for example, use 20 grams of 9BE, 20 grams of clear, and then 40 grams of processing lotion. So you'd want to mix that into your formula before your processing lotion. And if you're looking for just a transparent shine, you can also just use clear with equal parts processing lotion, which is really nice because some people just want a clear glaze and they don't want to change their color. The processing time for demi is 3 to 20 minutes. It can be used again for gray blending. If you're looking for more impact and to add depth, we do suggest using that on dry hair, and then you can use heat. We don't suggest heat for our permanent color or our lighteners, but you can use heat with our demi if you're looking for more impact. You would then process for 10 minutes with heat and then cool down for 10 minutes. So that's another way that you can use this. Now let's jump into our lighteners. So we have two lighteners. One is a blue powder and the other one is a clay that is great for freehand techniques. And I love these lighteners. They're amazing. They both lift up to 9 levels, and they're going to help not sacrifice the integrity of the hair because they have built-in protection, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about. So these are so nice to use. The consistency is amazing. It has this improved consistency because we added guar gum, so it's going to help thicken the product so that you don't have to use quite as much lightener, which is really nice. The mixing ratio for these is 1 to 2 and up to 3. So this does need to be measured. I recommend using a scale. We have this beautiful Fermar Milbon scale. It's a glass scale, which I like to use, but you can also use scoops. So that would be 1 dry scoop to 2 wet scoops. So this can be used with our 10, 20, 30, and 40 volume universal developers. But remember, this is a 9-level lightener, so you might want to bump down your developer from what you're typically using if you're using like a 5 to 6 level lightener, because this is powerful stuff. I'm gonna mix up a little bit of our Elite Clay so you can see the consistency, because this is one that, of course, we're always concerned about that it's thick enough with our clays because we want to freehand these. So it's really easy to mix. Always use either a spatula or a brush. Don't use a metal implement when you're mixing lighteners. Don't use metal bowls because that's going to interact and it's not going to be good. That's going to create a chemical reaction in your lightener, so it's very important not to use metal implements, to wear gloves. I recommend not using a whisk because when you use a whisk, you introduce air into the product, which is also going to add oxidation. So you're going to get more longevity and working time if you just fold that product in until it's nice and smooth. It only takes a minute. So I really, really like working with this. I've been able to switch a lot of people over from foliage with a blue powder to clay, and I love freehand painting. It's so much fun. So it's really nice to have a powerful clay lightener because I'm able to work with even really dark levels and get the lift that I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna mix this up and I'm gonna apply this to a mannequin, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about the protection that comes with this lightener. So now you can see the consistency of this lightener. It's nice and thick. So you're not gonna have any problem applying this. It's not going anywhere, which is nice. And it's gonna give you those bright results that you're looking for. So I love working with my paddle. So this is the Milbon from our paddle. It's got a diamond texture on it, so it stays put when I brush it on the paddle here, just like that, which is nice. It's easy to clean my brush off. So I'm gonna load this paddle up. This is how I like to work. But they're interchangeable. So if you like to foil with a thicker consistency, you can just as easily use our clay instead of the blue powder. The blue powder is a really nice creamy consistency. It's really nice for foiling if you're looking for that consistency. If you're doing an on the scalp application, I would definitely use the blue powder instead of the clay. And I would prep with our scalp protection oil. And we'll talk a little bit more about support items later. So I'm just gonna load some up on this brush. Again, I mentioned this slips up to 9 levels with a built-in protection. So that built-in protection is Poly Shield. Poly Shield is it's like a net. So this is a polymer network that wraps around each strand to protect from excessive cuticle lift. So that's very, very important because the cuticle is 60% of the hair strength, and it's very, very important to protect it. Excessive cuticle lift can cause the cuticle to chip away. So that's gonna thin the hair out, and it can cause breakage and split ends. It can make the hair look very dull. So it's very, very important. And some of the other benefits of Poly Shield are that it's going to give you smoother results because you're having a smoother cuticle at the end of the day. So it's going to protect the integrity of the hair and reduce roughness. In powder, it's actually reduced by 57%. And in clay, it's reduced by 52%. So I'm going to apply this just so you can see how nice the texture of this product is. So it's such a nice product to work with. So if I wanted to do a little bit of painting, I just load up my brush. And I can go ahead and get really nice accuracy with this consistency. And if I wanted to paint through the ends, I would just use my paddle and drop that on the hair here. So you can see it's nice and bright, it's nice and thick. What I love about this is that it's not going to give me a lot of transfer, if any. So you can see I can lift it up and it's not bleeding through. And if you do want to use cotton, you can go ahead and use cotton. You can use wrap. I usually, even if I'm not using cotton, like put a little bit of wrap over the head at the very end just to keep the product moist, because when the product is moist, it's working. So you're going to get optimum lift. So this is an amazing product to work with. It can process up to 50 minutes. And at that point, it's going to kind of plateau. If you need to, you can rinse and reapply. But it's super simple. It's a lightener, you know, it's going to give you amazing results because this is powerful and it's going to protect the hair. So when you rinse this, you can feel the hair feels much smoother, which is really nice. As I mentioned earlier, we have these amazing support tools for the back bar. We have these color balancing shampoos. We have purple, blue, and copper. Purple and blue are going to cancel warm undertones, and copper is going to enhance depth and warmth. I use the copper shampoo and I love it. We have our scalp support oil, a color remover, and a barrier cream. Remember, we talked about that scalp support oil when we're doing these double processes. To apply that scalp support oil, it's just a spray that you spray on the scalp. You don't have to rub it in. It's not going to affect the lift or deposit of your lightener or your color. So very, very important. Also, if you're doing double processes, only 20 volume on the scalp. Very, very important. This is another item that I really love. It's part of our extended collection. This is for enhanced back bar services. So this is a pH balancing microcarbonated shampoo. So you shake it and it's like a mousse. What that does is it's going to bring down the pH of the hair. So when you do lightener on the hair in general, or you're doing permanent color, it's a high alkaline product. So it's going to open up the cuticle a lot, right? And the environment, the pH environment is very high. The natural pH of the hair is between a 5.5 and a 6.5. So it's very important to bring it back down to its neutral, natural state so that the hair is healthy and that cuticle isn't overlifted. Remember, it can chip away. And so that you're going to get a better result with your demi as well. And it can cause irritation if we leave that residue and alkaline in the hair. It can cause irritation to the scalp as well. So this has willow bark extract. It's really nice. It smells amazing. It's a foam, so it's really, really gentle. It reduces friction on the hair. So this is really going to help with your back bar services. And again, we have so many tools, so please look on the website and try some of these amazing tools. We have Protector, which is also part of our extended collection. It's going to protect against protein damage. So it's like a pre-treatment so that you don't damage the hair from coloring services. It's amazing as well. It doesn't affect the lift or deposit either. So you can just go right ahead and run into your color services after application. It's really, really simple and easy to use. So I hope this was helpful and that you enjoyed this class, that you got something out of this PK for Sophistone. And I look forward to seeing you in another class soon. Thank you.